All right, in this webinar, we're gonna make a basic form of bread. This is a no-knead bread. Basically, we're gonna let it sit a while so that it grows 2 times its size, and then we don't really need to knead it or anything in between. It just takes a lot of time. The first thing is we need 3 cups of flour, then we're gonna need some yeast, and then we're gonna need some water and salt, and we're gonna mix that all together. So we have 3 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of salt, and 3/4 teaspoons of yeast, and then we mix that together. It doesn't have to be too much. And then we get 1.5 cups of water, and we're gonna make a shaky mess, as it says in the recipe. After about a minute of stirring, it kind of makes this ball and it all sticks together. That's basically when it's ready. And then we're gonna cover it and let it sit overnight. I'm not gonna actually cook with it or bake it or anything until probably noon tomorrow. So it's gonna stick for about 12 to 18 hours and let it rise. So I'm just gonna put it on top of the oven, put a towel over it, and then let it stay there for 12 to 16 hours. Okay, so the dough should have raised up, doubled in size by twice, and it has. Now we need to prep a pan with parchment paper, and I put some pan on it so it's not gonna stay. We're gonna knead it just about 10 times on some flour, so I'm gonna get it out, knead it only 10 times. Also at this point, if you want to put any kind of flavoring in it, I would do it while kneading it. Sometimes I put rosemary, sometimes garlic, sometimes some kind of cheese. I'm going to make it into a ball on here, then put it on the pan. So now it's in a ball. I'm then going to cover it with a towel again, and then it's going to rise for another 2 hours. About an hour and a half in, I'm going to put the oven to 450, and I'm going to put this Dutch oven in during the last half hour so it heats up, and then I'll explain how we cook it in about an hour and a half. For the next step, about half an hour before we're going to cook it, you're going to preheat the oven to 450. The dough should be almost doubled in size, almost springy, so that's almost ready, but another half hour of growth. And then you put the Dutch oven in while you're preheating. So that's going to heat up the Dutch oven, and then for another half hour growth while it's at 450. So then we'll start cooking in about half an hour. All right, first we're going to do a small slit in the top of the bread just before we put it in to the Dutch oven. Just okay. Then we're going to carefully transfer it from the pan to the heated Dutch oven on the parchment paper. Top back on. And it's going to stay like that for half an hour. For the last cooking step, we're going to remove the lid and cook it uncovered for 15 minutes. Caution, the lid's been in there for about an hour, so it's extremely hot. Use a oven mitt. As you can see, the bread's already starting to cook and starting to brown. Just remove it. Cook it for about 15 minutes. All right, so it's done. I'm going to take it out of the oven and then take it out of the parchment paper and put it on that wire rack. I'm probably going to need 2 hands to do that. So probably it's just going to magically appear. And it is off the parchment paper and onto this wire rack where it's going to cool for half an hour to 2 hours. And then you can cut into it for dinner or lunch or whatever meal. And you have made yourself bread. That should last you for a few days to a week. So there you go.